Welcome back to our channel. And I want to thank you all so much for your incredible feedback, your questions, and your interest in human design, the Kabbalah, and manifestation, what we're doing here in this channel. Today, we're talking about variable. This is an incredibly interesting topic. I am going deep in my rave psychology because variable is how the brain thinks. If you're interested in psychology, if you're interested in how you view the world, if you're interested in how you receive information, how you process things, what's best for you to manifest, this is all seen in your human design variable. So let's get into it. So first things first, you need your human design chart. And the question I get asked the most is, how do I find my variable? What is variable? So let me explain that first quickly. So if you see this chart here, you'll notice that there are 4 arrows. This one's going to the left, this one's going to the right, this one's going to the left, and this one's going to the right. So the way that it's written is they take the personality, which is the right side of the chart. Typically, this is in black. This is where all the black lines are in the chart. And they say personality P, and then the first arrow, which is left, the second arrow, which is right. So this would be PLR. Then you come over here to the design side, which is all of the gates in red. This is the subconscious, and that's design. And the way they usually explain this is D, and then this first arrow L, and the second arrow R. So this would be PLR, DLR. So that's how you can find your variable. Let me know in the chats, in the comment area, which variable you are. Now, thanks to one of my beautiful clients, Lucille, she brought me the information on the animals, which is, I don't even know where exactly it came from, but somebody is correlating the 16 variables by animals. And I think it's a really helpful way to remember and understand the unique differences between the variables, because if you have a bunch of PLR, PLL, DRL, it kind of gets confusing in your mind to remember. But when you map it out by the animal, then it's helpful and fun to learn how you think. And we're doing this in my Facebook group. If you're not in there, Spiritualized Human Design, people are asking me questions. We're looking at them. I'm telling them which one their animal is. And this is a big course. I mean, this is a year-long rave psychology course that I'm doing, but I'm going to try and bring a couple of tidbits here for you guys to have some fun with it and learn. If you're ever interested in joining in the longer courses, you can email us at support@raquelreyna.com. First, I need to back up and tell you what variable is and why it's so important and what we're looking at with rave psychology. It's the neurodiversity, the mind, the psychology, how we think, how we heal trauma is all in here, and it's revealed in your human design chart. So let me introduce to you what variable is. These are all of the arrows, your cognitive architecture. So variable is to awareness, or you could even say your consciousness. What type is to form, meaning your human design type, whether you're projector, generator, manifesting generator, to your body and to your form. So that's how the aura operates. The generator brings life in, the manifester is initiating, making contact, moving things away. So the variable is to awareness, how you're aware of the world. So type shows how your aura moves through life, and variable shows how your consciousness processes reality, a map for transforming the way you see, you receive, and you express life. Really interesting stuff. One more piece. Rave psychology is really important for healing the vehicle. So ultimately, one thing that we're bringing in is that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. So even though human design is a map of the vehicle, the strategy, the authority, and the return the intelligence of the body, the rave psychology takes us deeper to show awareness and how our mind transfers, how our mind distorts, how therapy works, how the spectrum works a little bit. I'm not claiming to know everything. This is a very complex study, but oftentimes it shows us when there's pulls in different directions in the variable. Sometimes we can see that showing up in different types of spectrum. And then the spiritual psychology gives us tools to process the human experience. And now the next piece we're adding and revealing in human design is the Kabbalah, which helps us to awaken the soul, which is the unseen world, your past lives, the angels, all of these mapped out like as precisely as your human design. It is a systematic, precise map. So if you're curious about that, I'll also put a link to the Kabbalah information that we're doing as well through your human design in the description below. Variable is a clear map of your cognitive architecture, meaning it's a practical guide to how your mind perceives the world. It ignites your awareness and therefore shapes how you experience your life. It's a practical map for how the awareness moves through the mind. So the vehicle intelligence is the body, the subconscious. So understanding how the mind, the variable, interacts is like having an open door to the world beneath the glacier. You finally get to see what is hidden, the depth of your subconscious and how it interacts with your mind. And all of this is revealed when we look at variable, which is really, really interesting. So I want you to contemplate the power of this, because if you have at all heard of Bruce Lipton, he wrote The Biology of Belief, and he was the person who helped us understand that our genes do not limit us to a lifetime of bad genes due to genetic information from the family. He said it was more based on the interpretation, how our beliefs are literally shaping our biology and also our lives. So if you know his story, he figured out in simple terms that your mind is influencing your biology and your reality. And of course, within certain confines, we can't change the time the sun rises. Yet his life after having this discovery was an absolute disaster. He was fired. He was a professor, and then he was fired because his ideas were too extreme and he couldn't quite get it together. He's having one relationship, bad relationship after the other. But why? When he understood so much about how the subconscious worked, that it created your reality. And this was because the subconscious programming can be so deeply wired through trauma, through past events that have created wounding or victim mentality that keep you stuck in patterns. Now, again, these patterns are revealed deeply in the Kabbalah, but they're also revealed in variable. So variable is showing how we get beneath the surface. So in human design, the line is the surface, meaning we have the big three: your strategy, your inner authority, and your profile. If you've heard, you're a heretic and investigator. That is the surface. But variable is beneath the surface. It's kind of like you have the tip of the glacier and then you have everything underneath the water, what is unseen. It's a perfect analogy. So there are 16 variable combinations that reveal the psychological operating system. So the arrows are not just the mechanics, they describe how your body feels safe, how the mind processes life. It shows you how your consciousness naturally takes in reality. It's going to show you how you're designed to manifest. And whether you're here to be more of a peripheral manifest, or you're here to be receptive, or if you're here to be focused, if you're here to be more intuitive, if you're here to really make lists and focus in. One of the key questions is, are you built to force life into form or to absorb life until the wisdom emerges? And these are two different ways in which the variable is operating in four different places in your chart. We're not here to recite by rote the poetry of the other. We're here to offer ours. Ra Uruhu. We're here to offer our uniqueness, our own poetry. The middle field of variable. When the body and the mind move in different direction, the human being enters the great tension of differentiation. So this may be where we begin to understand that certain forms of cognitive differences, not as a dysfunction, but as the pressure of the two different orientations living inside one being. So let me show you where we are seeing this. And this is part of the reason why I've been so inspired to make this video, because I would like to know where people are. I would like to hear from you if possible. So you'll see here the list of the 16 different variables. Now we have what starts here is all left. So this is also a movement through history. We all started out as all left, and we're moving all the way to all right. The way I see this historically, and this is also in my book, Are You a Mutant? If you want to read more about that, the all left architecture is a fixed focus strategic. I'm going to make this happen regardless of who I have to trample on to make it happen. Now, not everybody is like that with all left. We see a lot of very evolved people all left, and we see people that have other aspects of the future within them and who are emotional, who have this depth. So they have these conflicting things going on, but they're here to show us the past and the future, right? So the variable left is really focused, strategic. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to do this and this and this to make it happen. Sometimes it also means you're kind of narrow focused. Maybe you don't take in everything else in the room. You see what you want to see. You go into a classroom with a specific thing that you want to find out. You're kind of fine-tuned, focused in on that. Then as we move through time over to the all right, we're going to be seeing the reception, where it's like, I kind of want to create this, but I don't know. I need to be open and see how things unfold. And I want it for the greatest good of all concerned. So that's a big structural difference. And I think spiritually, this is one that the ancient mystery schools have been teaching, is that we are evolving into a place where it's not just about us, it's about the oneness, it's about how we affect people, it's about how what we're doing, even if no one else knows about it, it's either assisting, empowering, or hurting other people. And that matters. It truly, truly matters. And this is the evolutionary stage we're moving into, the four right arrows. But now we're in a time in history where we have arrows going in two different directions. We got a little left, we got a little right. And the thing that gets confusing is, see, it could be like PRR here, which is the PRR, which is the personality right, which means that the mind is to the right. So that's the mind, both of the mind is operating to the right, while the left, which is the design, is operating to the left. So even though that's to right and to left, at least the consistency is that the body is receptive and the mind is focused. So we have two different directions, but the mind and the body have a succinctness. Now, the place where it gets really interesting is here in the middle, where we have left and right within the design, or left and right within the mind. And these are the places that we're finding some very interesting dynamic pulls and how people think and how they operate. So I would like to know if you are in this magic center in the middle, And we're looking for your experiences, how that may be affecting you. So the two different directions inside one being. So the design is the body, it's how we take in life, it's the digestion, the environment, the nervous system. It's the vehicle's natural way of stabilizing. And then the personality is how the mind sees things, how it interprets reality, the perception, the focus, the motivation, the conceptual awareness, the observer's natural way of processing life. So when the design and the personality move in different directions, we experience tension between embodiment and awareness. And the vehicle reveals whether your system finds alignment through structure, reciprocity, or the integration of both. So this is the contemplation. I find it very interesting. Now I want to show you one more piece about these variables. And this is very important. These are also called the 4 radical transformations. So the 4 radical transformations, each one of these areas also has a deep, in-depth study. So the arrow to the left here, based on the color and the tone, affects how you digest life. So where you see this in the software is where it says determination, digestion. This is color 3, thirst. In this example, the variable is pointing to the left and the tone is smell. So this is right here where you see the left. You're going to find the thirst in the color 3, and then you're going to find the 1 here is where you see the tone 1. And this is, so it's base, tone, color, line. That's where it goes through, how it gets through the gate, through the neutrino stream, the base, tone, the color. And we're looking at tone and color. So the color determines how you're designed to digest life, how you're designed to eat. I'm nocturnal. It really affects me. And thirst, the variable of the thirst, the arrow pulls it either to hot or cold. So in this particular example, it's hot, and this has to do with the temperature of how we're able to digest. It oftentimes affects how we actually live in hot or cold environments. And the smell is about having this olfactory. Sometimes people can smell, first they might be the ones to smell what's going off in the refrigerator. Then they may even be people who can smell someone on the other side. I've experienced this myself, having smell, is I have certain smells or fragrances that people wore. You can also sometimes smell smoke if someone was a smoker, and when they're visiting someone who has transitioned. So this is also the gift of smell. It's really interesting. I've talked to a lot of clients that experience that. So this is all found here in this top arrow. Next, we come to this second arrow where we find the environment. The environment in this example is caves. And then we have here the right arrow, which is the observing, blending, which is right, is more of a passive receptive state. Maybe someone's more of an observer. They enjoy sitting on the outside of a party. And then the tone 5 here. So again, same thing, base tone color, base tone color. So the 5 is the feeling. The color is the caves. What it's saying is how you interact with environment. These people do well in suburban city, lots of auras. The caves also do well with crystal caves, with cave like energies, because I'm cave as well. We like to make sure that we're sitting so that we're protected, we can see the door. Maybe it's better to have smaller amounts of people living in the home. This is the environment. Then we come over to the personality side, and this one here is where we have perspective. This is where we see the manifestation, whether you're a specific or non-specific manifester. And this is where probability and possibility live. This particular person has the probability of color, and the distraction is possibility. They're more aligned to seeing the probabilities. And if they get too far out in the possibility, it distracts them. So this is how this variable operates in view. And then we have the motivation here. And this person's motivation, hope, the transference is guilt, the tone is action. And again, base tone, hope is color 2. The tone is action. So their hope in action. The transference of guilt is really, really important here. Almost all motivation operates in transference, upside down, where instead of living in hope, you live in the meddling, trying to make change, fix things. So the motivation is this top arrow. So you can see each arrow has a depth and a body of knowledge that is contained within it. This is called the 4 radical transformation: the diet, the environment, the perception, the motivation. And then when you just focus in on these 4 arrows and how they 4 operate together, we call this variable. And one of the things that I found really interesting is when someone put it together with the animals based on how the 4 arrows are going. Now, I'm not going to go in very much depth in this right now, but if I get some votes, so put your animal in the comments. I'll show you how to find it right now. Put your animal in the comments below. I'm looking for people, all the different animals, and I want to see if you guys are experiencing the polls and what your experience says. Those of you who may know this, maybe you don't know it. If you want to know more, then put your animal in the comments. I can go a little bit deeper. It is a super fun study. We're going in so much depth in my class, and it is the best experience. It is such a fun journey. So grab your chart and let me know which animal you are. They are listed here. If you have 4 left, you're a shark. 3 left and the right, you're a dog. So grab your chart, put your animal in the comments below. I'm particularly looking for the owl, the cat, the horse, the camel. And I want to hear about your journey and your experience. And then if you vote on an animal and I get the most bears, I get the most cows, I'll make a video just for you. Also, once you type in which animal you are, let me know if you have a friend or a family member with one of these in the middle. We're doing a little research in our class. We have some people with owl. We've had some people with a horse, some people with a camel, but not that many, and no one actually in the class. So this is the exploration I'm on. I'm really looking and deepening and wanting to hear some feedback from the community. So let me know which one you are. Put in some votes. Let me know if you have a friend that has this, and we will go deeper here on this channel. So to wrap up this experience, I'd like to do a process with you to get you into the center of how these variables may be operating in your life. So what I like to do with my clients is a little ignition. It's a process of centering where we get us out of the beta mind and we really let the information settle in to the body for growth, expansion, and understanding. So what I would love for you to do is to just take a second to pause everything else, take your screens down, shut your phones off, and let's come deep into this moment. So take in a breath with me and settle in to where you are now. And I want you to contemplate how your arrows are working. For me, I have 3 right arrows and 1 left arrow. The other thing I didn't mention in this video is sometimes when you find someone who has the exact same arrow configuration as you, there's a deep understanding of how the psyche works. This is one of the things Davidian and I share together. Deep reception with a strategic thinking mind. So take a breath in and contemplate how your arrows are moving. Contemplate whether you are receptive or strategic. Notice deep in the subconscious, in the body, if you feel settled, if you feel like your body is in the environment that it should be, if you're digesting life properly, and ask yourself if there's anything that needs to change. Maybe if your environment is mountains and you're living in the cities, maybe you might need to find a place where you can go the top of the building, where there's a view for deeper contemplations. What might need to change in your environment? And now let's move into your perception. Are you strategic? Are you receptive? Do you need to allow those manifestations to come in? Or do you need to focus, make lists? Now let's talk about your motivation. Do you understand how you are motivated? Are you properly motivated or are you transferred? My motivation is innocence. That means I need to be an observer. I need to watch innocently. When I show up, I go there with observation, with an innocent heart, allowing everything to unfold. My transference is when I'm in desire, when I have too much agenda, when I go to an event with a focus. I need to make this happen. I need to make that happen. That transference does not allow my true motivation, what I am here to bring forward, really occur. We're all designed differently. We're all designed to be in this world uniquely. So take in a breath with me and allow yourself to explore. How are these energies moving through you? What more do you need to learn? How do you need to focus? How do you need to let life in? So take in a breath with me. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being part of this community. I'm truly, truly honored and grateful to serve each and every one of you in your human design journey, your spiritual awakening, and now revealing the Kabbalah in your human design chart as well. If you have any questions or comments about anything, including what we covered in this video, please put them below. We do try our best to get to all of the comments. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.
Davidian and I have traveled far and wide into the mystical through human design, through Kabbalah, through the unseen world of wisdom, the fire of awakening. We came back with one message. Your wisdom was never meant to stay hidden. Spark your personal revolution. The flame is already in you.
Remember, rise and burn brighter, letting your wisdom spread like the illuminating rays from a lighthouse. 30 days, one personal revolution, making your truth impossible to ignore.